fixedness is the tendency to only think of an object's most common use when presented with a problem. In our scenario with the frying pan, we need to think of the frying pan as a weapon instead of something to cook with, because if an intruder walks in and all I have is a frying pan, I need to hit them over the head with it in order to save myself. Priming is an unconscious memory effect where exposure to one stimulus influences the response to another stimulus. Think of it like this. Every time you see an Amazon Prime delivery truck, it reminds you of the time you watched that viral Ring camera video of the Amazon delivery driver slipping and falling, which obviously makes you laugh. Framing is the way that an issue is presented or framed. This can really affect judgments and decisions.
No, 30% off of picture frames? $20. I could hold off.
Oh my God. The other day they were 30% off of 20 and now it's only 14. I'll take it. In this scenario, I have to pick between two options, 30% off of $20 or $14. What's the better deal here? The answer is neither. And this is because they're both the same price, but just framed or posed differently. Savant syndrome is a rare condition in which someone with significant mental disabilities demonstrates certain abilities far in excess of average. These can be in the fields of mathematics, the arts, music, etc. To remember this, I made the mnemonic SAVANT. Spatial skills has to do with the visualization and mental manipulation of objects, movements, and locations. People with Savant syndrome also show high levels of creativity and artistic ability. There are varying levels of Savant syndrome. Some have it more mild, some have it more severe. Savant also has an association with autism and other neurodevelopmental differences. Intuition is an effortless, immediate, automatic feeling or thought as contrasted with explicit, conscious reasoning. Think of this scenario. I walk into this party and I have this immediate feeling that something feels off. I decide to drink this drink and then I have this weird feeling, so I immediately spit it out. I come to find out that my drink was spiked, and I'm so glad my intuition told me to spit it out because this could have been me. A flashbulb memory is a vivid, enduring memory for how one learned about a surprising or shocking event. Think of a flashbulb that is turned off. The flashbulb can be turned on in an instant with the flip of a switch. Or, the flip of the switch causes the flashbulb to radiate a bright or vivid light. This is much like the way a flashbulb memory works because it shines light on an emotionally vivid memory that is recalled by something that triggers that memory, much like the way the flip of the switch triggers the light to turn on and off. Alfred Binet was a French psychologist who developed the first widely used intelligence test. The Paris government asked him and a colleague to develop an objective test for the school system that would identify children that needed help. He came up with the IQ formula, mental age divided by chronological age. His studies influenced today's widely accepted intelligence test, the Stanford Binet test. Think of it like this. In Binet, we have the word by, which means two. Binet created the IQ formula, which requires two things, mental age and chronological age. Additionally, in the word Binet, we have the word net. A net holds something, much like the way Binet is the holder of the concept of IQ. Francis Galton developed the idea of nature versus nurture. He studied genetics and how they affected people's individualism. He believed that intelligence was hereditary and based on acuity and quickness of our senses. For this example, we're gonna think of molten lava cake, but instead, we're gonna call it Galton lava cake. Lava is associated with volcanoes, which is associated with nature. So in this case, the lava would associate with the genetic factors that make up our behavior in the nature part of the nature versus nurture debate. Cake can be associated with birthdays and growing up. And the cake here would represent the nurture part of the debate that states that our environment and experiences in life determine our behavior. The term Down syndrome can be very deceiving. Think of Down syndrome as the opposite of what it sounds like. You'd think that Down syndrome would be when you're down one chromosome, but in reality, it means that you're up one chromosome. So think up syndrome because you're up one chromosome. Remember it being the opposite of what it actually means. Gardner's theory suggests human intelligence can be differentiated into the following modalities: linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial ability, musical, bodily kinesthetic, intrapersonal, interpersonal, and naturalistic. Think of the 7 dwarfs and Snow White and how they each have a specific characteristic that makes them who they are. Gardner theorizes that people do not just have one intellectual capacity, but have many kinds of intelligence, including all of these traits put together.